So hello and welcome to you all to our new day of interview 21 days challenge. And today I am the host as well as the interviewer for today. And here candidate Karan, Supriya, Kritika, Amit, and Akash. And today I will be going to ask some question. Is like a basic JavaScript and something like the related to codes. Karan has completed that just basic JavaScript. So I am asking him to only basic of JavaScript, and so according to their course I will going to ask the question, and the format I am changes today. I have changed today, and the format is I will this is today's three round only. First two round is the theoretical question and third round is a guess the question. And these two round, first two rounds like a theoretical round, you need I will give you like a topic and you need to explain the topic, and you have a like a more timing compared to others, that because today I'm going to give you more time and big questions. So okay, so let's start. So start with the first, Supriya. So Supriya, your question is, tell me all about the functions and how many type of functions are there, and what are you know about the functions, whatever you know, tell me everything.
Okay. So functions in JavaScript is something refers to repetitive task which can be done while using function. That is what function I understand. And in function, you can write any a code which you want to be getting it executed multiple times without writing it again. So you just want to call that. So that's why you use functions in JavaScript. There are multiple ways of writing a function. Like there are arrow function. There is a simple function, like you are simply writing functio function, that keyword. And in the arrow function, these are quite different, because in arrow function you cannot use inbuilt functions. Some things, I mean, you cannot use inbuilt functions in order to get your code executed. But when you use functions, then definitely you can use please pause the recording. Okay, so till now, I have explained that repetitive tasks which you want to perform can be done with the use of function. You don't have to write whole code which you want repeatedly used in your code. You just have to call it in your function. There are two types of functions, like arrow function and the function keyword itself. The arrow function, you cannot use inbuilt functions. That's why it is quite drawback. But it is a concise way of writing your function keyword. And when you are writing an actual function, let me tell you, the syntax is quite simple. You just have to there are many ways to declare a function. The very first simple way is this: function, then parenthesis, bracket, and curly braces. And inside that parenthesis, you can declare parameters. And you can also store this function into a variable, like let a is equals to this, or you can use any keyword like var or const, and then you can store that function, and you can simply console.log to your function. Functions can be written inside a function. And when you are writing a function inside a function, it can inherit the properties of its parent. And you can also write function inside function and another function inside it, then it will also inherit the properties. So this is what the function is. It simply helps you to get your task get your writing of the code less. You can simply write the whole code in itself, function inside a function, and then you want that code to be executed, you can write it anywhere. You can even call the childs of it by pointing it out inside and inside. So that's how functions work in JavaScript. Yeah.
So now you tell me all about the functions, and you tell one thing like a function inside the function. So what the this like a this is a one of the like a logic. The name is the function inside the function. So you know that particular logic. What the name of that?
I don't have the correct idea of name. I only know that it can inherit the property of parent. That is the
Yeah,
child.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know the all the logics like it can inherit, but you don't know the name. Okay. Anybody else know that name? Okay. So Karan, Karan,
Callback functions.
Amit.
Yeah, it's closures, I guess.
Yeah, it's closer. Callbacks is another theory, but closer, callback another, and closer it means function inside a function. We call it as a closer. And you tell about the we can declare the functions. So what the difference between like a how we call the means declare the function and how we use the normal function. So difference between, tell me difference.
So you're basically you are asking that how we call it and how we console.log it. So simply I told you that
No. I mean you said now we can declare the function and we can like use regular function. So tell me syntax.
I already told you. Shall I repeat?
Yes.
Okay. So declaring function can be of two types, simply writing function, then parentheses inside it, parameters, then curly braces. You can write any function inside it. Second method is this. And when you are writing that function, you need to call it. Okay. And inside it, you can change the parameters according to your needs. Okay. And the second method is this, storing that function inside a variable and simply console.log that variable, which is whichever you have assigned to that function.
Okay. Now it's turn to what's the turn? Turn is Amit. So Amit, your question is what is explain me the concept of objects and object method. Whatever you know about the objects, tell me all things.
Okay, nice. So object in JavaScript are basically data structures, just like any data structures like int, string, and functions and arrays. These data structures are very unique and very special because they store the data in a very structured way. Structured way in the sense they store the data in key value pairs. You can have one key, and with respect to that key, you can assign one value. So key value is the data structure we can add. So what type of data we can add? We can add those data which we has some reference to it. Like we can have one student name and their ID. So we can add these data in that structure only. We cannot add individual data. The data needs to be in a pair. So that's how we add data. So the syntax is just like you add one variable, you declare one variable and assign it to a object. So the object is basically these key and value pairs enclosed in a curly braces, only that. And the keys are very special. The key holds any other data types as well, like you can add strings, you can add arrays and other objects as well. But when we assign one function to a key, then it becomes a special key. Then that key is called as object method. So what are object methods? Object methods are very special because they holds the power of functions, because functions are basically just like 𝗶𝗶 said that they can execute any special kind of task. If you have any special kind of task, you create one function for that, and you can add that function to that key. Then that key becomes a method. So we have many inbuilt methods, just like any array methods. We have object methods as well. So we have any inbuilt method, and we can create more custom methods as well. So these methods are very special because for a particular object, let's say, it is very special when we comes to object handling. Like we have one object and we can introduce our custom objects inside that. So if I talk about object methods, then we can declare it with regular functions as well as arrow functions and function declaration as well. But when we declare it with simple functions like regular functions, then we have the ability to use the disk keyword inside that. And that basically is a very major difference between an arrow function and a method with declared with arrow functions and another method will declare with regular functions. So if you want to utilize the properties of this, you will always be declaring with a regular function to introduce a method. Otherwise, you can add the simple arrow functions inside a method. So this was all about methods and objects and how functions plays a key role in object methods.
It's nice. Very structurally you answered. Now it's turn to Karan. Karan, your question is explain the constructor functions. Whatever you want, what the methods, what the things you know, and what you learned. Tell me all about it.
Hello. Okay, so basically, constructor function is a type of function which is in JavaScript. So basically, whole JavaScript is written on the constructor function only. Like there are different constructor function for everything in JavaScript. So it is based on that. Okay, so about constructor function. So constructor, first of all, I will tell you syntax and how can we use it. Okay, so first of all, for using a constructor function, you have to just use the capital word for the name, like for the name of any variable. Like there should be a capital word, like let cricket. So cricket, in cricket, C should be capital. Okay, for using it. And in constructor function, like what we used to do. Sorry, we like if we want to create any object, so we don't have to create it inside it. We will create it outside. Inside that constructor function, we will use some keywords like this to refer any properties like this dot name, or in arguments we will give all the properties we want inside our object. Okay, then inside that constructor function we will use this keyword to signify what will it be. Okay, also we can add some methods inside it. Then for creating an object through the constructor function, we simply use a keyword new. Okay, new keyword is important to create a new object. So basically, a new keyword creates a new object with the help of constructor function only. So for creating that, we will give it a name, like we give a name to constructor function. We will give it a name like for example, anything like player1 is equals to new keyword, and we will name that constructor function name. What is the constructor function name? Cricket. Okay, then inside the parenthesis we will provide all the argument values, like what the value should be there. Okay, so that's how we can create different objects, and that why it is used. So basically it is used when if we have a same keys, okay, not values. If we have a same keys inside any object and we are repeating it again and again, and we don't want it, like we don't want a code to be so much long. So that's why we use constructor function if we have the same keys inside different objects. So we will use constructor function, and we can create all those objects with the help of one line code only. So that's how we will reduce our code. So that's why constructor function is basically used. And there are other things we can perform with the help of constructor function, like we can use prototypes, which is really important in a JavaScript. Like we can use and like we can inherit any other object properties inside another object with the help of prototype and constructor function. And like these are the basic things related to constructor functions. Okay, that's all.
Okay, so according to your answer, you know very well constructor functions. Now, one question like is if I want to declare, means if I want to add new property to the constructor function, but not using only that particular block. I want to make new property outside that block. But means the constructor function. So how can I create? Means how can you
Okay.
create?
So as I said, we can use prototype. So with the name of constructor function, we will just use dot prototype. So that dot prototype will like inherit the property we want. Then we use dot prototype, and we again use dot, and we will mention the name of that function or that method we want to add. Okay, if there is any method, then is equals to function parenthesis, and then there is a curly bracket. Inside it, we can add any new method we want. So that's how we can inherit new properties inside those constructor functions.
Okay, nice property, you know. Okay, so now it's turn to 𝗏𝗏ika. Now, 𝗏𝗏ika, your question is loops. What is the loops? How we use and the type of loops? Whatever you want about loops, you can ask. You can tell the answer.
The repeating of the same thing is called as a loops. So we have a instead of calling or keep on getting the output from the, like we have a set of data and we have to get the data at random from one by one, means we could not every time we can't call the functions or we can iterate that. So instead of that for that matter, we are using a loops. There are two types of loops we have, while loop and for loop. Inside the loops, we have first we have to start with the variable. Then we have to give the length with the conditions, like I is equal to greater or less than that array's length or object, whatever. Then iteration we have to give, like I is plus plus, like that, like increments of the value. So and we will give inside the curly braces, we will give the console log of loops. This is for a for loops, same like that only while loop also, but in that we will give in the iteration part at last after the console log. This is the difference between the for loop and while loop. And for loop, we have the more methods like a for of loop, for each loop, like that we will use over that. Then these are the difference between the loops, what I know.
Okay, so now tell me about the concept of nested loop. Nested loop, you know?
loop inside a loop is called a nested loop. Example, if I want to call 1 to 5 numbers into the 5 times means I don't want to iterate 5 times. So inside that I will keep a loop inside a loop, so that it will call 1 to 5 numbers into 5 times. So for that purpose we are using the nested loops.
Nice, you answered well. Okay, now it's turn to Akash. Akash, are you there? Hello, Akash.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is means what is JavaScript, and in this question, not like a easy means what you need to tell the nature of JavaScript and why we use promise and fetch. The use cases behind the promises case. You need to tell the answer in very structured way. Okay, now whatever you want, tell me.
Can you repeat again once question, because I'm not able to listen because some problem behind me. That's why network problem.
Okay, so your question is the nature of the JavaScript, why we use promise and fetch. Behind the use cases of using promise and fetch, you tell me the whole logic why we use. Your question is.
Okay, so basically when in ES6 JavaScript, this is introduced in 2015, and there is a promises in JavaScript are basically the objects that represent the completion or failure of an asynchronous operations. And they also provide a cleaner code, which is a more structured way to handle the asynchronous code, which is compared to callbacks, because we have the callback functions as well. But in ES6 we use the promises, because promises have also the states, that is initial states and fulfilled and rejected states. With the help of that, when we talk about the use case scenarios of promises, then basically promises are essential for handling the asynchronous task, such as when we want to fetch any kinds of data from an API, then it is basically used in that. And also some queries when without blocking the main thread we want to fetch data, then it's also important. And it's also have a chaining where we have multiple synchronous operations where we can write or make the code more readable, and also it's avoiding the callback hell, because in callback when we use the callback, then it sometimes happen that it goes the code in callback hell. That's why we use the promises, because it avoid from the callback hell. And if we talk about the benefits of the usage of promises in JavaScript, then promises always enhance the code that is very more readable, and also in a structuring and also asynchronous code in a more linear and sequential manner. So for handling the error, we have also catch methods in promises that always handle the error, and it makes easier to manage the errors in asynchronous code. For example, suppose we want to fetch any kinds of data using promises, then first we will have to take the function, and after that function, and we have to take the async functions basically, because in promises we have to wait for fetching the data. So if we are using the await keywords, then also we have to use the async. So that's why we first take the async function, and after that function name, and after that we write let promises is equal to a fetch, and in that we write the URL from which we want to retrieve the data. And after that we have two methods. From that we can write try and catch methods, and in that if our code is resolved, then that code will goes in try, and after if my code is not resolved or rejected, then it will go in a catch, and they give some errors. So in this way we can fetch the data, and we have that using dot then keywords for fetching the data. And if we talk about the promises, extra information about the promises, then it always guarantee to someone to either give you what you want to provide a region, and it's fetching data from an API is like placing in order. Means if we want to take a real world example, so suppose we are sitting in any restaurant and if we ordered some food, then the ordering food is basically a promises, and the menu which is placed on the table is just like a methods, and that is HTTP methods, because when we fetch the data from the help of promises, then we have also some method HTTP method, that is put, delete, post. These all are the methods that we can use for retrieve the data, and for if we want to post some data from to the server, that's why we use all these methods. So in that restaurant, the kitchen is basically the server, and similarly we have the promises that use just like that similar. Yeah, that's all about promises in JavaScript.
Nice. You answered well. Now our first round is completed. Everybody has given me like what I expect. You all give a good answers. Okay. Now it's time to second round, and now second round. So first is from Supriya. So Supriya, you tell me about the event handling. Like there are so many events like buttons and something. So how you will how will go to handle, and how you, there is a syntax, and so give me example and tell me what you know about the all the event handling. So your time start now.
Okay. So event handling in JavaScript means something when there is an element or there is a tag and you want to add some event. Like you want that whenever our mouse is hovering to it, or whenever our mouse is clicking it, you want that something should happen, that it should change. It should whether display a prompt message, or it should display something new page. So this is called event handling, and there are various ways. Like there is an on-click event. The one on-click event is this, that whenever you are clicking on a button, and whenever you're clicking, there should be something happening. Like it can render you to new page, or it can display your prompt message, or it can add on that you have clicked on that particular button. So this is known as on-click. Mouse click is also there. Like when sorry, mouse hover is also there. Like whenever you are hovering your cursor on the particular element, then also it will give you something new, something change in your page. So these are the event handlings, which simply makes your dead element, gives you some new extra life to it. It can display something new, something change from the previous. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And about the form, if I want to handle the event from the form, so what you use? Like, tell me example.
Form?
Means in HTML we are creating a form, and after that we catch the form in the JavaScript. Like first we catch the call like a form get element by ID, then and after we need to add the event listener when submit on the form. So how do you handle it?
Yeah. So there are basically two methods. First is this, that you can give some input tag, name it as you can give the button named as submit, and then you can catch that button and add the on click event on that button. And second method is this, you can simply write a input type submit. It is very helpful. It will automatically give you a submit button, and you can add event listener on that particular button, and you can add any functionality whichever you desire to. So these are the two methods.
Okay, nice. Okay, now it's turn to Amit. Amit, your question is some lengthy, like a beat. So you, because I accepted you, you can give answers. So you can. The question is, what do you know about the ES6? What the new features introduced by the ES6? So tell me about what you want. What do you know?
Okay. So ES6 is basically a version that came in 2015, basically a version of JavaScript. JavaScript also is a program, just like any program. So developments are always happening. So ES6 or that phase was, 2015 was a phase when developers introduced a lot of features into JavaScript, and they didn't released it as it is. They just bundled all the features in a big packet, you can consider, and that packet was released on 2015, and that basically made JavaScript a lot more accessible and popular, because those after introducing the features, the JavaScript are more easy to understand and more efficient and more faster. So there are a lot of consider that bundle. So in that bundle, they introduced a lot of features. So one of the features were promises. Before promises, we were using callback functions a lot to handle the request and response. So, but after ES6, we introduced async await and promises. These are the new features that got introduced in JavaScript. And along with that, we introduced arrow functions as well. And after arrow functions got introduced, it basically changed the way we write functions and the way we execute functions, because simple functions were little longer, and it basically behaves different with that this keyword. But when we introduced arrow functions, it has other behaviors. So the same functions was there, but behaviors were a lot of difference. Similarly, we introduced another features like some methods were also introduced in arrays and objects. So these methods are not a very common method, because we don't use it day in day out, but those methods are very special, and a lot of experienced developers are using that, and those were meant to use by them also. After that, we use there are a lot of many frameworks got released after ES6, because ES6 comes with different syntax as well. So frameworks are also implemented and built on that specific features, considering that specific features only. So these were the features. Yeah, that's all, because features are also very big to explain. So yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you something like, what is the difference between let_var_const and let_var_const?
Okay, so let where const, those three are simply keywords in JavaScript, which is used to declare any variable or any data type considering. So let where and const have different behavior in declaring, as well as when we consider it declare or initialization or declaration and reassignment as well. So considering these three stages, these three behaves differently. Talking about var, while using var, we can declare it, we can redeclare the same variable, and we can reassign the same variable with different values. We can do that. It is free. But when it comes to let, we can declare it once. We cannot redeclare the same variable in the same file, but we can reassign it. So declarable is, limitations is there only. We cannot redeclare, but reassignment is possible. But when it comes to const, we can declare it once, we cannot redeclare it, and we cannot reassign a new value as well. So const is very limiting. It doesn't allow redeclaration and reassignment. So these were the major differences. But another difference is that it basically also is very, the behavior is also very vast in hoisting. If I talk about hoisting, then also these three keywords behaves very differently. Yeah, so that's what all about the differences.
Now one more question for you in ES6 itself, and that is what is the difference between spread operators and rest operators?
Okay, so what spread operator does is, let's say we have an data structure called, an object and an array. So if I want to access the elements without using the main data structure, like we have an array and we have some elements inside that. So while accessing each of that element, we need to access the main array first, and then we can access the elements using the indexes. But if we can use the different approach, we can use the spread operator. So what spread operator does is, we actually declare one empty variable, one empty array, and inside that array, at a very specific positions, we declare some variables, and then take that whole array and assign it to the object, whatever array you want to assign it. Then you actually name the variables on their respective indexes, and that variable will give you the value from that original array. Similar happens with the object as well, just changing the syntax. In object spreading, you use the curly braces, and again same thing, respective positions, takes the variable, give the variable name at respective positions, and you will get the value regarding that position. And what REST operator does is it does a little differently. It behaves a little differently, but the underlying principle is the same. Let's say you want to spread an array, and you want only specific items. You want only first and second items, and the rest of the items you want on a very specific array. So what you does it, you spread the whole array, you grab the first element, you grab the second element using the destructuring, but after that you want all other elements in another array. So you use REST operator there, just dot dot dot, and give it a variable name. So all the other elements like 3 to 10, all those elements will be there with inside another array. So REST operator will give you the rest of the elements. Yeah, so that's all about spread and rest.
Nice. So one more thing, can we use REST operator in functions or not?
Okay, it has a useful use case there as well. Let's say you don't know the function arguments, like how much arguments can be used. So there you just name the one variable and use it like a REST, like dot 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 and args. So what it does, it takes it considers that whatever arguments, whatever parameters you had while declaring it, it just accepts those parameters inside that one variable. So args is a set or an array of that of those parameters.
Okay, nice. And one question for some other candidates demand, and that question is, okay, so last question on other candidate demand, and that is what is the full form of ES6? You are mute. Amit.
Yeah, so ES6 stands for 𝗏𝗏. Actually, 𝗏𝗏 is a organization as well. I don't know the full name, but that organization basically sets the rules on which JavaScript should apply it. So ES6 comes under that, obeys the rules of that. That's why it is called ES6. And the syntax that we are talking about, the features that we are talking about, are mostly based on the rules. They obey the rule. That's why it is called 𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏 6. Yeah, that's all.
Nice. You are best candidate. Like I'm interesting to asking question because your the technique of giving answer is very amazing, like a structured, and the English is fluent. Okay, now it's time to Karan. Okay, so Karan, your question is, tell me.
In the diagram of class.
Okay, so Karan, your question is what is the array and string, and how we can iterate over the array and string. There are some methods. So give me the best definition of array, string, and the methods which are available and which you know. So your time is start now.
I was saying we have less time, so can you call again?
Yeah, sure. I am calling
Only
you again.
3 minutes are left, na? That's why. There. Okay. So my question is, what are strings and arrays in JavaScript? So basically, strings and arrays are the data type inside JavaScript. There are different data types like number, like array, like object, like string, and booleans. They are different data types, but these two are data types of in JavaScript. So basically, strings are primitive data types, and arrays are non-primitive data types. So what is basically primitive and non-primitive? So primitive data types are those data types which we can't change. We can't change. We can update them, but we can't change them. Okay, so string is a part of that. Like we can't change a string, and in array, like we can change array. So it is possible. So that's why it is non-primitive data type. So first of all, I'm starting with array. So array is basically nothing. It is a sequence of it is a sequence of number. It can be number. It can be it can be any character or anything. So basically, how we write a string. So basically, for writing a string, we will first of all we will use const let or something like that. Okay, so const let of where, like what type of variable it is. Then we will give it a name. Like there can be any name like str. Then is equals to, and then there is a inverted comma. Inside that inverted comma, we can pass any string. So that is the format of writing string. That is syntax, basic syntax of writing a string. And about array, so as I told you, array is a non-primitive data type, and we can change it. So in like array, I will tell you how to write array, and I will tell about it only. Then for writing array, all the things are same, just in change of inverted commas, we will use square brackets for array, and in those square brackets we can give different elements. We can give number, we can give object. Like array can store any other data type, so inside that array we can store any other data type in the form of elements. So it is really useful. Like we can store any object, anything. Also, for example, there is JSON files in JavaScript for the product pages and all the things, and inside that JSON files we use array, and inside that array we will store different objects, and it is really helpful. So these are two types of data type in JavaScript. And how can we iterate over it? So there are methods for iterating over it. For string, we can simply iterate over it with the help of loop. And in array also we can we can iterate with the help of loop, but there are also different methods. Like there are some methods for array, for iterating over array. Like there is dot map, dot filter, dot for each method. There are different methods for iterating over arrays. So that's all about arrays and strings.
Yes, so tell me one thing. If I do I have one array, and inside that array I have a number like 1 to 5. Okay. Now I did like a array dot push. So this, and after I print the console.log that array. So what the output? Now tell me the output.
Okay, so basically dot push do. Dot push is basically a method, like it is a property inside the array we will use. So dot push just basically add on different variables in the last of the array. Like we want to add something, like if we want to add another array inside the array, so we will use dot push, and it will automatically add those elements at the last of the array. So that's how we use dot push.
And what dot pop
Okay, dot pop. Dot pop just removes the last element of the array.
Okay, and I want to add one thing like a starting of the 0th index. So what method I use?
What?
Means I have an array of a 1 2 3 4 5, and I want to you tell by using that dot push we can add the new element last of the array, but I want to add one element starting of the array. So there are methods.
There is also a method. I am remembering the name. Please wait. We call. Actually, I am not remembering the exact name of that method right now, but I know it.
Okay, so you know, and that is a shift and unshift.
Shift and unshift. Right. Yeah. Shift and unshift. I remembered.
Okay. So nice. Your turn is done. Now it's turn to nice turn to 𝗶𝗶𝗶. Okay. So 𝗶𝗶𝗶, your question is related to operators. In JavaScript, we use some operators to perform some tasks. So what you want about the operators, you can tell.
Okay, we have some logical operators and mathematical operators. Like that, different kinds of operators are there. In mathematical operators, we just perform as usual mathematical formulas like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo. One more thing is there. For addition, plus sign we will use. For the subtraction, less sign, and multiplication into sign, and division we will use the bar sign, sign, and modulo we will use the percentage. So what is difference in modulo? All other it's our usual mathematical things we will do, but modulo will give the remaining of the sum. So example, if 5 divided by 2 is, the answer will be 1. That's like that kind of different output will come in the modulo. This is mathematical operators, and we have logical operators like and, or, and or are not equal to operators. And this we will use like ampersand signs, and or we will use the vertical 2 bars, and not equal to we will use like a exclamatory mark equal to. So these, and we will use like it will accept the both condition, that is ampersand sign, and or is will either A or B, and not equal to, if it is a true condition it will make it a false, and false condition it will make as a true. These are the difference between the logical operators. And one more thing we will do, that the relationship operators, we will that is a comparison between the two cases, like a greater than, lesser than, greater than and equal to, lesser than and equal to, and equal to, not equal to, and strict equality with it will tells the three equal to signs, and non-strict equality will gives exclamatory mark with it equal to. These are some of the operators we are using in JavaScript.
So related to this topic only, if I do a console.log phi equal to phi in string, so this will what give you, true or false? Phi equal to phi in the string. So what the output?
The output is false because that is a number, this is a string.
Yeah, but I'm using
If you
double
want to
equal to.
convey, if you want to convey, means always the string will convey the number is a 5. That is into the quotations, into the quotation, it will make a 5. If you usually when you compare with a string or number, always the output will be the string, not a number.
Okay. And what is the difference between double equal to and triple equal to? There is a little one difference between this
Double equal to will consider only the data, but triple equal to is considered considers a type of the data also.
Yeah. Okay, right, done. Nice answers, nice definition. Now it's turn to Akash. Now the question for the Akash is what is the higher order functions? What is the use cases of HOF? Whatever you want, you tell the answer.
So yeah, higher order function basically that we use, and the examples of higher order function is that is filter and map functions that we use, and basically the higher order function is
Hello.
Pause.
okay.
Okay, so some network issue. Akash is stopped. Now Akash, continue with your answer.
So can you ask me again the questions so that
Yeah,
I can...
sure. Your question is what is the higher order function and what is the use cases for HOF, and there is lots of methods, and so whatever you want about the HOF, tell me all.
So higher order function is basically a function that we use in many ways, such as we use the map.filter and also .foreach.map. These all is known as the higher order functions. And in this, with the help of this, we can also able to conclude the things that suppose we have want to write the arguments in functions, and always we want to return them as a result, then that time we use the higher order functions. So in programming functions are considered first classes and class regions that leverage this kind of concept by treating as data. So if we talk about the use cases of a higher order function, then there is some flexibility. It gives the enhance the flexibility of our code so that we can use more generic and adaptable solutions for the code that we write and for the users. For examples, we have the map and filter functions, and also we have the dot reduce. Is all are known as higher order functions. And in higher order functions, we can also able to handle the event. It is useful for event handling also, because we can take the event handler functions as an arguments there. So it is also useful in event handling. And if we talk about the benefits, then a higher order function always assigned with the function programming that is always be concise, expressive, and declarative code. So suppose if we want to also talk about the extra information, that is it operates on functions, and the higher functions in mathematics can take other functions as parameters and also return that functions. So yeah, this all about I know about the header functions.
Okay. Now I want to ask that is what is the difference between for each and map? The main difference. Tell me.
So basically, the when we want to iterate something on array, then it is we use the for each, and when we want to iterate the objects of array, then we always use the dot map.
Okay, you said like we want to iterate over the array, so we use for
Means
each.
when we have want to retrieve the data from the JSON from the servers, and that is all the data or objects written in array form. It means inside an array, then we write or iterate to use that for each. But if that is written in under objects, then if we want to retrieve the data from the server, then we use the dot map.
Okay. And why we use the filter?
What?
Filter is a one more HF. You also included that. So why we use that filter for what using?
So yeah, basically filter. I'm not getting. No, that's why.
Okay.
I know,
No
but
worry.
I'm not
Means
recalling.
you know.
I am not recalling that things. I know that what's
Okay.
filter.
So very using thing, and that is a reduce. Reduce is very important for HF. So can you know? Can you know and can you explain that reduce?
Uh, reduce. I know, but I'm not recalling the main thing that how it's used. That's why I'm not able to explain in a systematic way.
Okay. No worry. Okay. So here our second round is completed. Now we are going to third round. So let me pause because one candidate is not there. Okay, so we are here with last round, and in the last round, you are all candidates need to guess the output. What the output should be. Okay, so first, and you have a 2 minutes to guess the output. So first, to go into Kritika. So let me share my screen. Okay. So this is your question. They are in here we do console log. So what will the output of the console log? You need to guess. You have a 2 minutes and your time will start now.
So the answer will, okay, let me check.
Pause the recording. Meanwhile, she's guessing.
Okay.
So the answer will, can I? Okay, console.log. So it is the first one is a type of a number and second one is a type of a string. So but when we concatenate a string, a number with a string means it would be a string. So my answer will be the 2. And console.log. Second one is the same pattern. Uh, uh, here in first case, it is a 2, but in the second case, it's a less sign. So in mathematical operation, if we work with that, we will get answer as a 1.
Nice. She guessed a correct answer. And what I expect. Okay, so you correctly answer all three questions and on these two. Okay. Now it's turn to Supriya because here itself I write the name. So Supriya, this is your question.
Okay.
You have 2 minutes.
Okay. Please pause the recording.
Tell me what your answer, Supriya.
Yeah. So first answer I have guessed is 3. And second answer I have guessed is 6.
Okay. So your two answers are correct because only the concatenate is here because by using plus it will concatenate with these two and making a 2. But while using minus or division or multiplication, it's not going to like be a string and it will perform like a number. Okay, this is the second task is complete. Now it's turn to Karan. Okay, here Karan, your question is this. Let just you have a 2 minutes. Okay, Karan. So
Okay.
tell me your answer.
So first one will give us nan because there is no number present here. So it will give us nan. And second one will give us true only. No,
Your
not true.
final.
Sorry, not true, not true. It will give us two.
Okay.
Two.
Or first
Sorry.
and first answer.
Nan.
Okay. So your second answer is true, means two is right, but your first 1 minute. But your first answer you say none. So this
Ah.
operator is not working on the like a numbers. But it will work on the like a also. We do like a array plus array, so it will give us like a just a string, normal string. It will give like this because in JavaScript the array blank array plus blank array it will load it and it will convert to string, and this is true, both are blank, no data is present, so it will goes to like a blank string. This is the first what your answer, and second is
interviewer. Can you
yes.
check once, because I remember I have done this question. That's why I said ki nan.
Okay, let's check.
Please check once.
Yeah. My screen is visible.
No, it is not.
I checked personally
Entire screen.
and then
No, not personally. Why?
okay,
We
okay,
all want
okay.
to see answer.
Yeah, I will say your law. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay, let's check. Okay. This is the question
Yeah,
and like
yeah. Console
not
log it. Park. Yes, right.
see the answer.
Where? Where
Okay,
see
for
the answer? Because
debugging.
there is.
For debugging, I write here a blank string. Okay, we get a blank
Yeah. Sure.
string. Okay, now let's the spelling is string. Okay, now let's check the answer.
See,
Understand?
this question is asked by our IE only, so I know the answer. See, there is no number for this array plus array. There is no answer.
Check
See, na?
Pause the
here.
recording.
Yeah.
Pause the recording. Pause the recording.
Pause the recording. Yes. It will not. It is not giving us any answer. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so Karan, your first, you give all answer right. Just in our guess output, you confused with the first question. Okay, now it's turn to maybe it's turn of Amit. Let me share my screen. Where is the screen? Okay, now it's no. Okay, screen is 2 minutes. Let me share my screen. Okay, now here is the question. My screen is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, so this is the question for Amit.
Okay, console log undefined +1 and this.
Okay, so you
Okay,
have
don't
2 minutes to solve it.
Yeah, don't pause the recording.
Okay.
Just a guess.
Yeah.
The first console log will give us 1, and the second console log give us false. False, 1 false.
So your
Just a
this is
guess.
last final
Yeah.
answer. Okay, so first let me answer you. So your second answer is right because that is false, but your first answer is you tell like it give a 1. But here is a twist. Undefined plus 1 it goes to like a NAND because 1 is the number, but undefined is a nothing like a it is not defined, so it give a NAND. So this is the right answer. Okay, so
Okay,
now
understood.
it's turn for Akash. Are you there, Akash? Hello, Akash.
Yeah, I am here. Yeah.
Okay, so now this is your question. You have to make. Can I pause recording or you solve
No,
this here?
just I want to give the answer. Wait for a second. So yeah, in both we get the null plus 5. So here 5 is a number, but here null is not any kinds of number. That's why it can't concatenate both things and give NN. And in second band, a big type of NN, it's also be NN, both.
Please repeat. First answer is
NAN.
NaN. Okay, none. And second is
Second is also none.
okay. So the first question is console.log is a null plus 5. So JavaScript in JavaScript JavaScript compare is like a null is a 0. Null it think null is a 0. So it's take a null as a 0 and if tell about this, so null is 0 now. So 0 plus 5, so it will give a 5. It will give us 5. And that is the difference between undefined and null. JavaScript check it is a undefined. So with undefined it give a none, and with null it understand the null by a 0. So 0 plus 5 it give 5, but undefined plus 1 equal to none. This is the difference between undefined and null. And the second one is the console.log type of name. So when first of all when we get a name, when we like a undefined plus 1 and then we get a name. So name come when not a number. So JavaScript consider the type of name as a number. So second is a number. So this is what the expected output. So and one more thing, what is the main difference between undefined and null? So this is your last round, and let me stop this screen. I hope the all round is completed. Now it's turn to feedback. So all of you guys, first round is completed. In first round, all of you guys give a best answer with a structure and what I accept. And in second round, also all guys give answers, but Akash give you some. You don't give the answer for the filter, reduce, and that method. And in third round, Supriya and Kritika, you solve both guess the output, and the Karan and Amit, you 50-50 means one you have solved one question and second question you don't able to done, and Akash you don't solve both are questions. Okay, don't worry. And so today my shout out is going to all of you because I don't get a very hard question. I am just checking your checking your knowledge, not the like a real interview. And I'm not going to choose any winner. Today I am come here to understand your knowledge, check your knowledge, and come with easy question because you need to some confidence in while speaking. So today my shout out to you all. You need just working on your speaking. And if I talk about the Amit, your giving the style of giving the answer is very nice. I am getting interest to ask more questions. Even other candidates again, even other candidates too also want to ask some questions like a Karan. So okay, so this is the very beneficial to us and all our other participants to learn this thing how to answer the question from Amit. Okay, and Kritika also your English is good and Supriya is fluent, and Karan, make your speech structured. You say structured something. You are not structured in speech. You need to first to give a definition the properly and give an example. And Akash is the good, but just recall the everything what you know like a filter and map. So this is what for today. Bye bye.